Jaya Nityananda
Jai Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
This morning we are reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta 1:471. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta 1:471. The confidence and reasons for the appearance of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna prema pavita yanra siddhendriya kaya Krishna nitya sakti ratha kridara sahaya. Do you have already?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Krishna Prema Bhavita Yanra Chitendriya Kaya Krishna Necha Shakti Radha Kridara Sahaya.
Krishna prema bhavita yanra siddhendriya kaya Krishna nitya sakti ratha kridara sahaya. Someone else? Somebody wants to try? These Bengali verses are very easy. Word by word. Krishna prema.
Krishna Prema.
Love for Lord Krishna.
Love for Lord Krishna.
Bhavita.
Bhavita.
Steeped in.
In.
Yanra.
Yanra.
Whose. Chitta.
Chitta.
Mind.
Mind.
Indriya.
Indriya.
Senses.
Senses.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Body.
Body.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Nitya Shakti.
Nitya Shakti.
His own energy. Radha.
Radha.
Srimati Radharani.
Srimati Radharani.
Kridara.
Kridara.
Her pastimes.
Pastime.
Sahaya.
Sahaya.
Companion.
Companion.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Her mind, senses and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy and she helps him in his pastimes. Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her to be material. She is definitely not like the conditioned souls who have material bodies, gross and subtle, covered by material senses. She is all spiritual and both her body and her mind are the same spiritual embodiment. Because her body is spiritual, her senses are also spiritual. Thus her body, mind and senses fully shine in love of Krishna. She is the personified Hladini Sakti, the pleasure-giving energy of the Lord's internal potency. And therefore she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is internally different from him. Therefore, Radha and Sri Krishna are identical. The Sandhini portion of Sri Krishna's internal potency has manifested the all-attractive form of Sri Krishna, and the same internal potency in the Hladini feature has presented Srimati Radharani, who is the attraction for the all-attractive. No one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna. Krishna prema bhavita yanra siddhendriya kaya Krishna nitya shakti radha kridara sahaya. Her mind, senses and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy and she helps him in his pastimes. Ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana salakaya saksurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave namaha. So we are reading Sri Caritamrta, and the chapter is the confidential reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this chapter, it is revealed why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in this material world. Although Krishna, his expansions or incarnations never appear in material world. When they come in spiritual form, and they bring their dharma, spiritual atmosphere with them. So when they perform their pastimes, actually they perform it in spiritual atmosphere, not in material atmosphere. So Lord Chaitanya, he descends to this material world, and it was already explained these external reasons. He comes to establish this Sankirtan movement for the benefit of the conditioned souls, and now in this chapter it also revealed the confidential reasons that he come to taste the love of Radharani. And in this verse, Radharani is explained. And in the text it is said that her mind, senses and body are steeped in love for Krishna. So we can estimate her body, senses and mind to our own, where our own body, mind and senses are steeped in material pleasures, seeking for material pleasures or temporary material body. As we are conditioned souls, that is our position. But one should not think that Srimati Radharani is like that. We try to understand this, how mind, senses and body are completely engaged, saturated by the love for Krishna. We can imagine a little bit, but not much even. But it has given these examples like Rupa Goswami is explaining that how young boy and girl who are in love with each other, they always think of each other and want to meet and spend time together. In a similar way, those who are in love in Krishna, they always think of Krishna and they want to associate with Krishna or Krishna's devotees. They want to hear about Krishna, speak about Krishna. So in this way, we can understand this spiritual rasa, to be in love with Krishna, or to try to develop love for Krishna as we are doing. If we are really absorbed in love of Krishna, or we have even little bit love of Krishna, then when we chant His holy name, we are really absorbed in hearing and chanting, and we are not disturbed anything external things. But at the present moment, because we don't have even this tinge of love of Krishna yet, maybe you may have, but at least as far as I'm concerned, I don't have even tinge of love of Krishna. Then mind is disturbed when we try to absorb our mind to chanting the Krishna's holy name. Then mind is disturbed, and senses are disturbed, and body is disturbed for these external reasons. Adidaika, adipautika, adhyatmika, disturbances in this world. And she is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. This is the desired activity of Srimati Radharani, that she wants to give pleasure to Sri Krishna. It's not so that she is forced to do it or somebody orders her to do it, but it is what she desires indeed in her heart. The only thing that she desires to give pleasure and satisfaction to Krishna. And also said that she is Krishna's own energy. And in his purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that she is all spiritual. Both her body and her mind are at the same spiritual embodiment. This is the nature of spiritual energy. When we are on spiritual platform completely, our senses and mind, they are engaged in Krishna's devotional service. Mind, senses and body, they are all engaged in Krishna's devotional service, pure devotional service. We then don't use these three things for anything else, not for the material activities or material sense gratification. Now, one may ask, how is it possible? Because we have to take care of the body and families and be situated in society and so on. But therefore, Prabhupada has established this internal society for Krishna consciousness that we can do it. We can engage our activities to Krishna service, although we are living in the material society. Many times Srila Prabhupada says when he explains these things that at the same time you do this. Meaning that at the same time, although we have to work, earn money for maintenance, at the same time we can think of Krishna. And we can use our money, whatever we have, in Krishna service. At the same time, it is possible. So there is difference between spiritual bodies and material bodies, as we have learned. So the material body is temporary, and actually it's made of dead matter. Although now we look like a living beings in this body, but as you have heard, the reason is that the spirit soul is inside the body. Therefore, the body is moving and doing many things and looks like living. But when the spirit soul leaves the body, then everybody know what it is. It is a dead body. Doesn't move, doesn't have consciousness. That's it. It has attained its natural stage, what it is, natural, dead matter. Actually, it's very helpful in spiritual life, helps us advance in spiritual life to see dead bodies. But in our society, we usually do not see, unless we come to some traffic accident place just when it has happened. Because the system is that everything is cleaned as soon as possible, so that no one could see what is the end of this body, so that we can maintain our illusion that we are eternally living in these bodies. That was in the story of Buddha, you remember this story of Buddha, when he came out of palace, where he has lived all his youth, never came out before, never seen old people, newborn babies, deceased people, or dead people. When he came out and he saw a dead body, he was carried on a stretcher by some relatives, and people were wailing and crying and so on. Dead body was there, not uncovered on the stretcher. And he saw that, he was very much surprised at what is this. And this, who was this, his main servant or minister, whoever he was guiding him there, he explained that it's a dead body. But he has to explain to Buddha that that time he was not yet Buddha, he was Gautama Siddhartha or something, Siddhartha, something like that. He has to explain to him that this is that body, that it's the entire life. Then Siddhartha was asking that, then why it happens? It happens to everybody. And he was very surprised to hear that he also ends like that, ends his life like that. He was shocked. And these reasons, when he saw these people, deceased, dead bodies, newborn babies crying, and old people, then he understood the nature, material life is like that. And then he retired from life and started his meditation under the tree to quit all these miseries of life. So therefore, to see these dead bodies, deceased persons, old persons, very old, is very healthy for spiritual life. Although we don't think so, it has a very healthy impact. But we can read about these things also, and we can study about the nature, the material body and material life. The Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures, they are full of descriptions of material life, of these miseries of material life, and this should be impetus for spiritual life. And my own experience is that it is. But it's not so that this Vedic knowledge, this Vaishnava philosophy is only negative, that we speak about everything is bad and not good and suffering and like that. Everything is eternal, everything is eternally blissful and beautiful and meaningful. Like here in this text, it is explained that Srimati Radharani's only business is to love Krishna, and she feels great, this power, extreme love and bliss for Krishna. And this is also, to some extent, our future if we practice Krishna consciousness and advance in Krishna consciousness. There is eternity in an eternal spiritual body which is eternally blissful, and this bliss is not what we sometimes may little feel in material bodies, which has its beginning and middle and end, and then it is gone. It is ever increasing. How we can understand this, that bliss doesn't decrease, it increases limitlessly. So, so Prabhupada explains that Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is eternally different from him. So great kings and emperors and wealthy men in this world, they enjoy material things around them, which they can purchase and get easily. They enjoy that, or they think that they enjoy. Actually, the spirit soul does not enjoy material things. So, but in illusion, they think that they get enjoyment. But on the spiritual platform like Krishna, he does not get any enjoyment from matter. And us, we also, on the spiritual platform, we don't get any enjoyment from matter. But out of illusion, we think that we get, and then therefore we are mad after material enjoyment in this world. this illusion is also Krishna's energy, and her duty is to keep these conditioned souls under her illusion, thinking that they are enjoyers of this world, and at the same time administrate them sufficient amount of pain. Because in this material world there is here we have a very strange law. Maybe you have seen, you have experienced that strange law. What is that? That law is that whatever enjoyment we have, the pain and suffering follows that. They are inseparable. But they don't always follow immediately. They come after. And this is very unpleasant. Now I'm enjoying, and then after some time I get this suffering. Or I get it in my next life. It is better that I get it now, and as fast as possible. But many times it follows us to our next life, and then everything is given us, this suffering. And then we are thinking, why am I suffering like that? What have I done? And if we are very wise, we ask, does this suffering have some meaning behind it? Why it comes upon me? This is what Sanatana Goswami asked from Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, he will ask from Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Varanasi. When Caitanya Mahaprabhu, after returning from Vrindavan, he visited Varanasi also and met Sanatana Goswami there and educated him in the science of Krishna consciousness for months there. And Sanatana Goswami's first question was that, one of the first questions, it was that, why these, no, the first one was that, who am I? And why these threefold miseries come upon me? People considered me very learned, but I don't know even who am I. So this is a good question. We are also very learned. We have degrees from universities and PhDs and so on, but we don't know who we are. This is the basic question which we should find out, answer to this question, who we are. Is like a base of all existence. And if we don't have this base, we don't have base of our own existence. We try to find it here, there, from many places, but we don't find unless we ask from the spiritual master this question. But Srila Prabhupada, he has mercifully given us his books so that we can study them and get these answers from these books. Who we are, why these threefold miseries are coming upon us, and what is our duty, and so on. We get answers to all these basic questions. We can make a good, solid base for our existence, our Krishna consciousness. Sambandha. It is the first step in self-realization, in developing love for Krishna. Sambandha. S-A-P, S Sambandha, A Abhideya, P Prayojana. S Sambandha. Relationship with Krishna. An eternal spiritual being, part and parcel of Krishna, and I have a relationship with him. Satchidananda Swami once gave us this mantra that we can meditate on every morning. I'm eternal spiritual being, part and parcel of Krishna, and I have a relationship with him. This is Sambandha. It explains who we are, and it explains our relationship with Krishna, that we have relationship with Krishna. And from this point then, we can start to develop more our Krishna consciousness. Then comes Abhideya. This means we are servant to Krishna, there's some practical service, devotional service to Krishna. And then ultimately there is Prayojana, which is ultimate goal of Krishna, which is love, pure love for Krishna. And there were these 3 gurus for these 3 steps or goals. And as Sambandha, I think it was Sanatana Goswami, right? Abhideya, it was Rupa. Okay, Rupa Goswami. And Prayojana, it was Raghunath Das Goswami. So this is the way to develop Krishna consciousness. And Krishna cannot enjoy anything material. He wants to enjoy only spiritual things and spirit. And we also, spirit of course has many meanings in English language, but in that context it means these non-material bodies and non-material existence, which is eternally blissful existence. And also we, on the spiritual platform, we don't want to enjoy anything material. Now we have still these tendencies to enjoy the matter. And in Krishna consciousness movement, we can use these tendencies to enjoy through Krishna. This is also way of devotional service to enjoy prasad, which is purifying and which is spiritual. Of course, it also depends on the consciousness of the cook, but at least it is like officially it is non-karma food. We don't get karma, but how much it purifies the heart, it depends on the consciousness of the one who has cooked it. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness movement, it was a very strict rule that only those who have second initiation can cook for devotees. Nowadays, I don't know how it is. Is it like that anymore? I have heard something that if somebody is at least living in a temple and chanting 60 rounds, he or she can cook. That is like because we think that we don't have enough devotees here. I don't know, is it true? All right, consciousness goes to food. So it is way to enjoy senses, eating Krishna prasad, but it's purifies the heart and develops love for Krishna. Prasad purifies even the great souls, it is said, what to speak of us. And all other senses also, they get their enjoyment in Krishna consciousness. You remember the Maharaj Ambarisa. Prabhupada often quotes Maharaj Ambarisa, who was utilizing his senses in Krishna's service and getting, of course, enjoyment also to his senses, but this enjoyment is spiritual. Our conscious mind thinks that we get some material senses, but we don't tell him that actually it is spiritual enjoyment. So in this way, we want to purify our mind, body, mind, and senses. This is also sannyasa definition. Engage one's body, mind, and senses fully in Krishna service. And therefore, Vaishnava sannyasis, they have this Tridandi rod, which has 1, 2, 3 these heads or something, whatever they are. Sticks. Okay, sticks. I don't know what this still means. I never got that information. 3 sticks which mean body, mind and senses, and they carry it, they engage in Krishna service. It's like a symbolic representative of the body, mind and senses which are engaged in Krishna service. But then Prabhupada explains also that everybody can take sannyasa. That means engage one's body, mind and senses fully in Krishna service. That is actually sannyasa. You don't have to take this vow and all these rituals and these orange cow pins and stick and everything. And sannyasa name, this does Goswami. You just engage your body, mind and senses fully in Krishna service. And this is sannyasa for everybody who wants to do it. It is open. You don't have to stay in sannyasa at least for 5 years. You can start it today. Okay, we know it's not so easy. It takes its own time before our mind and senses and bodies are purified. But the process is here, we just follow, it comes. But actually we can also think that we don't have such heavy goals that after 10 years we have to do like this and that. We just every day engage ourselves in Krishna service as much as we are able to do. And we try to increase this. So take it easy. Don't take this Krishna consciousness to be too difficult or very strict or like that. It is strict, but actually it's pleasurably strict. It is enjoyment. This strictness, Krishna consciousness is my enjoyment. And especially pleasurable days are those days when I have to struggle in my service with my body, mind and senses. These days are especially pleasurable. So,
Body, mind, words.
Yeah, body, mind, words, yes, thank you. So Prabhupada ends, Srimati Radharani, she's all attractive, no one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna. So we engage in the service of Srimati Radharani and try to help her in her service to her Krishna. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. We end here. If you have some comments or questions or you want to correct something, please you can do it. Or complain. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. You mentioned that Radharani is on this, maybe I heard wrong also, but that she's on this platform of Baba towards Krishna. So I was thinking, why not Prema?
Yeah, it's this Baba have different levels, and the highest level is Mahabhava, which is only possible for Srimati Radharani. And this is also like the highest level of Prema. So we can also advanced to level of Bhava and level of Prema, but still they are not the highest one. And the gopis also, they are on the much higher level than we are, or the cover-herd boys, or the elders of Krishna, or the servants. They are also level of Prema, but it's not the highest. The highest is only Srimati Radharani. In this way it's explained. Yeah, something else? So we have heard also about this, that we should not meditate too much about these transcendental pastimes and gopis and Krishna. But it is not true, actually, because Srila Prabhupada he has written Krishna book where he explains this all. And it is very safe. We can read these 5 chapters of Krishna book where it is explained the gopis and Krishna's activities. And we can also read from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta purports where Srila Prabhupada explains the transcendental pastimes between Srimati Radharani and Krishna and gopis. As long as we stay in these Prabhupada's books, it's very safe and we can read these pastimes. When we go out from Prabhupada's books, then it's not sure, but first we should study Srila Prabhupada's books thoroughly, then we can go. He has said that we should read Goswami's books, so this is there, this instruction, but first we should read his books thoroughly and study. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Peace, grace, Hanumanananda Prabhu ki jai.
Ananta Koti Vaisnava Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.